I'm actually surprised by what I found out here. All right, so the Steam Deck OLED is here, and here it is. I've had it for the past few days, and when I was going to purchase this, I had a massive dilemma mentally, because I had the 64GB LCD version, and then I upgraded it and everything, but it always niggled me, like, I wonder what that etched glass really is like. I've seen so much controversy on the internet about the gloss versus the etched glass, and that was even way back when the LCD model came out, and then everyone kind of just forgot about it, and then with the announcement of the OLED, it all rose back up again. Reviewers were only sent the 1TB models, and everyone was like, well, I'm sure the glossy one's going to be better, and theoretically, yes, gloss is better for screens. That's why most tellies and everything are screens, especially OLED models, because the nature of etched glass is that it diffuses the light coming onto the glass, but also through it. So yeah, there is going to be some degraded like performance in the panel, right? But I really wanted to see just how bad it is, you know? So whilst I was on the fence about buying a 1TB model, just to save myself from upgrading the SSD, I eventually just decided, no, I'm gonna get the glossy 512 and then stick a 2TB in it. And then I'm going to do this test where I get an etched glass screen protector and put it on it and really find out once and for all, does it really matter? So today I'm testing the glossy screen and the etched glass screen protector by JSAUX. And I have to say the glossy panel on the 512 model is beautiful. Now I'm going to sidetrack a little bit here and say, yes, I have a Samsung model screen here and not the BOE. There's two different panels in these OLED models. The 512 seems to have Samsung panels, and the 1TB and limited edition models have BOE screens, and the glossy version is beautiful. I booted it up, pure blacks, super crisp, amazing, but of course, I could see my face in it, and especially here in the studio, I could see lights everywhere. So what I'm going to do is just show you some clips here now of what the glossy panel is like and how bad these reflections really are. So I've actually got a massive studio light over there. I've got RGB LED like strips everywhere, as well as another light behind me here, and then little like panel lights that I'll shine on the screen as well. And yes, it really affected the glossy panel. Now, if you're only intending to play in like a dark room or whatever, then this is not going to be an issue with you. However, if you are planning on traveling and using this screen elsewhere, it is going to reflect everything like a mirror. It really is. But you are going to get that peace of mind that yes, you are going to get the best experience you can possibly get on the Steam Deck OLED, because it is crisper and just slightly more of a better image. Now, I do want to say, everyone online was more saying you're going to lose contrast, you're going to lose saturation, because that's the nature of etched screens. And whilst yes, that should actually be the case, that's not what I found here. So I've applied my JSAUX etched glass screen protector, and I was actually blown away. So immediately I noticed the complete lack of reflections. And by lack of reflections, I mean they disappeared. No longer could I see my face anymore. No longer could I see the massive studio light or the reflections behind me at any angle I played. Even out of the studio in general use over the weekend, every single bit of reflection has just gone. You know when you're playing on TV or watching a movie and you have to draw the curtains because you're getting that reflection on it? You don't need to do that here. It diffuses the light really evenly across the whole screen. And yes, in a couple of shots here, it looks like it's losing saturation or contrast even, because it makes the whole screen look washed out. That's not being washed out. That's just the way the light is being diffused over it at that angle, versus the glossy screen where you can just see a real hard reflection where you cannot see the screen at all where that reflection is, but the other side that isn't being reflected upon is nice and deep black and everything like that. However, I will say, when you're using the etched glass screen protector on it, it looks just as good. Like, it really, really does. And it makes it feel more premium. As soon as I applied it, I was like, I get why Valve have added this to the Steam Deck. Now, I totally disagree with that being the only option. I think you should be able to make a choice to have glossy or etched. And to be perfectly honest, I think they should do away with the etched entirely, just do gloss for every deck, and then give you an etched glass screen protector to apply it yourself if you want to, because that is the best of both worlds. But yeah, it immediately gave me a premium feeling where all reflections are cut out. Now, this image here, where you can see the purple LED lights reflecting off the gloss screen, was so harsh. Now, these LED lights are probably about 3 meters away from me, and you could just see them reflecting right back. Whereas with the etched glass screen protector on, it diffuses it so much, there's just a little purple hue on the screen, and you can't even see the LEDs. You can almost barely notice it. So of course, the further away the object is that's being reflected, the more likelihood that you won't even see anything on the screen. Whereas with the gloss, it could be a freaking mile away with someone doing SOS with the torch, and it will reflect it. So whilst you could help someone that's in distress, if you had the etched screen, you're not even worrying about it, so you don't need to stop playing your game. Now, I've been playing with the etched glass in the same situations I did with the gloss, and that is in the studio and in my sitting room with the lights off, with the lights on, different times of day. And I will say straight away with the etched glass, I am not noticing any loss in contrast. The blacks are just as black as they would be with the gloss version. Honestly, it really is. I'm not noticing that difference. I'm really not. It's not making it grey or anything like that, like the LCD screen that's got the horrible backlight and blacks can't be true black. I'm not seeing the difference between the screen being black and the blacked out bezel. It is just one. I really don't think that there is an issue with contrast reduction with an etched screen. Saturation, exactly the same. I'm not seeing any difference in color response essentially, but there is a bit of an issue that comes with the etched screen, and it does apply to the image, and that is the lack of clarity. Now, if anyone's ever edited photos or video or anything like that, there's a sharpen scale, right? Where you can digitally, even inside a camera, you can digitally add sharpening to make it look crisper, and usually it looks horrible. When you apply an etched glass screen protector, it's blurring the pixels, essentially. Every single pixel is slightly blurred because it's etched and diffused, and that causes a slight drop in clarity. So the best image I can give you here is with the text. Now, this is a macro shot, right? So I'm super macroed in. You can see that the image on the OLED screen is just a little bit more fuzzy, I want to say, like a bit more soft. And that's because instead of every single pixel shining through very clearly, it is just being minorly diffused. But again, you're not looking at the screen like this. This is a camera macro shot, right? So when you're actually playing the game, I'm not noticing it. If you're sat in a menu and comparing what the text looks like, absolutely. Does it make the text illegible? Absolutely not. If anything, even playing games, it just feels like the sharpening is being turned down in the settings just a little bit. Does it look worse? That's a matter of opinion. You know, it really is subjective. It's not as crisp, but I don't dislike it. The thing that I have noticed is because obviously the etched glass is like hazy, you know, because it's got to reflect that light. Like if you held the glass screen protector up to your face, it's gonna be hazy. So for example, I've got the spare one here. Can you see as I lift it up, see how hazy the Steam Deck is underneath? See that? Obviously, once it's up against something, it's pretty much transparent. But if I bring it away further, it's gonna get hazier and hazier and hazier and hazier, right? And that's how it diffuses light sources from far away to be completely sort of like anti-glare, essentially. And what that does is if you are being critical on like a white screen, you can notice like a bit of a haze over it. I'm not really fussed about it myself. I'm on the fence. I need more time to test this, but at the minute, I'm taking the trade-off of the amazing reduction in reflections, because in most of my scenarios that I'm playing in, there is always reflections, and I never knew I needed this until now. But the benefit is, of course, I've got a glossy screen. I can remove this, right? If you're buying the 1 terabyte, that is it forever. You can put a glossy screen protector on top, but then you're still gonna have not as good image quality, essentially, because there is that etched glass underneath. Yes, it will make it reflective again, but it won't sharpen it perfectly because, you know, the bit of glass underneath the screen protector is diffusing each pixel. So for me, personally, I'm blown away by this. I actually really like the etched screen, and I did not expect that. I came into this thinking I've just wasted 10 quid, right, on a 2-pack screen protector pack because I'm gonna stick it on, do this video, pull it off, and say it was rubbish, and let you all know, go with the gloss. And whilst, yes, I do agree, you should just get the glossy screen, right? For the same price as a 1TB model, I've got a 512GB Steam Deck, and I've got a 2TB drive and the screen protector, right, for the same price as the 1TB model. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Go 512 OLED, and then you get the glossy screen and you can just upgrade it yourself. Pretty easy to do. We've got tutorials on the channel. But after I'd done my testing, I was actually like, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave the etched screen protector on there. I think I'm just gonna leave it for a while because I really appreciate how much reduction of those reflections is actually taking place. I never knew I needed it until now. But I still think if you can, go 512 OLED, you're gonna get a Samsung panel, potentially. You're gonna get the glossy screen, which is a better image, as you can see from the examples I've shown in this video. And if you want the etched glass, get a screen protector, and then you're winning on all fronts. So what do you think? Have you gone glossy? Have you gone etched? Or, you know, do you have one of these in the LCD models? And let me know your thoughts. Do you enjoy the etch? Do you not like it? Do you regret it? Whatever. Let me know your thoughts and let me know about this video today. Now, of course, go and check mine and AJ's podcast over here where we talk about all things gaming, and check out another video of me, by me, with me, here, I don't know, subscribe.